It's the weekend. It's Mailbag. I have gone back to that intro because I couldn't think of anything else to say. I am joined this week by Foxy and Dan. Gents, you having a good week? How's it been?
Yeah, it's been good.
Not too bad.
Good to get to the end of it again.
Yeah. It feels a bit like that for me as well. Yeah. It's been a pretty hectic one. As ever, we'll kick off with Greeny's Rafa Graph. I've actually put together a sort of sliding scale here now of what the numbers mean. So I'd say 0 is a return ticket to West Kirby Station armed with the bed sheets. 3 is iron up what bed sheets you can write on. 6, not instantly turning off press conferences / post-match interviews. 7 to 9, considering a Benitez song. And 10 is blue cardinal suits on Goodison Road. So Foxy, I'll come to you first. Where are you on that? I think that adds a little bit more jeopardy, that, because there's something there.
Yeah, I thought you might have balls deep in there somewhere, but you haven't gone for that, so that's kind of a bit more respectable. I think I'm about a 9. I started off as a 7. I think it starts fantastic. I know people say, "Oh, they're easy teams." We didn't beat them last year, so it's much better than last year. Yeah, a 9. Up there.
1 step away. Possibly a win at Old Trafford away from a Cardinal suit.
I'll be up for it.
Lovely stuff. Get it done. Dan, where are you?
I'm a 7. I don't want to get carried away. QPR. That was a bit of piss on the biscuits, wasn't it? Really. So, we do anything at United this weekend. I mean, anything. A 2-2 draw, 1-1 draw, 0-0. If we can scrape a win, I'll start to rise a bit higher on the Rafa graph. But 7 for me, I'm a bit shocked at myself for being at a 7, if I'm honest.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm happy there. I'm happy to ride out the odd bump in the road. I think, after today, hearing that James Rodriguez still can't get fit to even play in what is basically the Unigate under 11s. Kind of proves a few things that, potentially were being thrown at him, that he was sort of spiteful, nasty kind of thing. And maybe there was a little bit of that, but it's also, if he can't get fit to play in that league, then,
Well, the thing is with that, I suppose, the sort of manager that Benitez is and what he expects of his players, the way Rodriguez has sort of handled himself these last few weeks, you can see why he will have an issue with him.
Yeah.
If you're doing nothing all summer, you've not been called up for any international duty, you will think, well, I better get fit for the new season with the hopes of getting a call. He clearly doesn't care about the upcoming World Cup, does he? Because you don't go and play Qatar if you want to get called for your national team.
But also, the minute he could get off, he got off and was, there was all those pictures of him vaping on a yacht and stuff. So he's clearly, he's more interested in advertising sunglasses, isn't he? Quite frankly, than anything else. And it's one of those things. It's a bit of a bugbear of mine when people kind of go on about him being the greatest player we've ever had and this world class, thing. It's like, no, Clarence Seedorf is world class. David Beckham's world class. Paolo Maldini's world class. Players that do it and do it and do it and do it and never stop doing it and play till they're 36 and win everything and you can rely on week in, week out are world class. James Rodriguez is mercurial. He's a heavily tanned Dimitar Berbatov. Do you know what I mean? He's he's a wonderful, majestically gifted footballer that has checked out. He's checked out. You don't have to if you have to follow up just to get a game. If you have to follow a manager about just so because he will let you do what you like, and every we're not the only club to have binned him off, and this whole kind of this mourning that some of our fans went into, this kind of black armband, we'll never get to see him live. It's how can we not play him? He must play. He's this incredible talent who changes games and stuff. And it's like, that's all very well and good when you've got enough players in a side of a sufficient quality to carry a mercurial talent, but we haven't. And, I'd rather have 11 Andres Townsends all day long. all day long. Because he gives a shit, and he wants to run through brick walls and do his best. And as much as James Rodriguez was a one dream, wasn't it? It was like a weird cheese dream, and you know, there were moments of incredible highs, but at the end of the day, it was completely unsustainable. You can't build a team around a player who picks and chooses when he turns up.
Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it, Foxy? That he did really pick and choose his games because he was comfortable with the manager that he had. Or even so, it is a shame to see a player like that, as Dan said, check out at 30 years of age.
Yeah, no, it's sad. I mean, he gave us 4 really good months start of last season, and then we got to Christmas and his calf went, and he never really came back after that. I think with James, there's a bit of a kind of reflection on Ancelotti being kind of promoting the individual, put 11 individuals on the pitch, play. And if you're at Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, you can get away with it because you've got 11 top quality players. If you're trying to do that at Everton, it's not going to work. So one of the big differences for me with Benitez is you've got more of a team. You've got more of the people like Townsend who putting a shift in and have quality. Gray put a shift in and have quality and do stuff. Like the days of having a Sigurdsson playing central midfield, walking about, pointing, that would never happen under Benitez. You never get him playing as a deep line holding midfielder because he's not fit for it. Whereas, Carlos seems to be quite happy. Say play, he can take free kicks and just walk about midfield and that'd be fine. But it's completely different levels for us. So it's much better.
Yeah, I think we've definitely dodged a bullet there. So thanks to Real Madrid for that one. We'll come on. Right, we'll go on to the hot topics. First one. So this week, I think we'll have Everton. Well, players who've played for both Everton and Man United. Okay. So first hot topic. What's the best Don song?
Mark Hughes.
Now that's like a fever dream that he ever played for us, isn't it? Oh God.
Mark Hughes once begrudgingly told me I had a lovely left foot, and you could tell he didn't want to. But he just kicked up the arse or something. No, I was at Bobby Charlton Soccer School, and I was the only kid for the entire term there wearing anything blue, and I had a spectacular mullet, an absolutely world-class mullet, full Chris Waddle job, and I had my little NEC Everton kit on, and my Puma Kings, and we were on the all-weather, and name drop, Bobby Charlton was there knocking the ball about with the kids, and he knocked one across in front of me, and Mark Hughes lifted it up in the air, and I caught it on the volley and slammed it past a very upset Jim Leighton.
Quality.
Who just stood there looking like the geezer out of The Simpsons, and it just rattled into the top corner. It was absolutely probably the best I've ever hit a football ever in my life. And I sort of wheeled back in my blue Everton kit with all these kids bedecked. This was the 80s. All these kids bedecked in their Candy and Crown Paints Liverpool kits and Man United kits. And I wheeled past with my flailing mullet and my itchy as hell Everton kit. And Mark Hughes turned around to me and said, "You've got a hell of a left foot there, son." And I was like, yes.
Do you feel that's on repeat?
See, that was his thing though, wasn't it, Mark Hughes? The volleyed goal, his thing, pretty much his thing. So for him to tell you got a sweet left foot volley, I'd take that. I'd lash that on my CV. Top of it. I put it at the bottom with other interests. Also, you've just given us the title of the podcast, Flailing Mullet. Got to be, hasn't it?
Second time I've named the podcast. I'm happy about that.
On an absolute roll, mate. So go on then. What's the best Don song without sounding too Alan Partridge?
It's a bit of a left field one, really, but it's the one that gets played the most in this house. I really like the Jack White and Alicia Keys one, which was from. Was that It wasn't no, because Casino Royale was
It might have
Chris
been
Cornell, wasn't it? That was Chris Cornell, wasn't it?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
And then, so it's the one after that. The one after that, which was the Jack White and Alicia Keys one. I really like that one.
So it
It's
is.
really
Quantum of Solace. That it?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good shout.
But I really like Jack White. And it just sounds. It sounds so. It's got all those bong keys to it. You know, it's got the sort of stop-start, trumpet bit, big strings, and all that sort of stuff. But it's still got that inherent Jack White kind of rock and roll sort of madness kind of stuff. So I really like that song. I think it's great.
Yeah, and the White Stripes were great, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were such a loud band.
Yeah.
Just
for two people, it was pretty apocalyptic, wasn't it? How loud they
Yeah. Yeah, it was so loud. Nice. Foxy, what's yours?
So, pointless to give answers. I think this one might rank up with 70, or it might be like a nil return. So I'm not that much into Bond and his songs. Adele did one, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably going to get me 70 on a pointless out of 100 that everyone goes for. But that was a pretty decent song. Did James Arthur do one? Have I made it up?
Sam Smith did one.
Sam Smith, all right. Yeah, again, a very high scoring pointless answer, but they're fairly cheesy. And the ones I can remember.
The only issue we've got with Adele is that she rhymes crumble with Skyfall. Full rattle there to rhyme Skyfall with crumble. Tenuous. And Sam Smith one. Radiohead should have got that year.
Okay. What would they have done?
I think Sam Mendes directed that one.
Okay. You like the name Sam, so you went for that.
He hates
it. Like the name Tom.
I think Sam Mendes directed it. Massive Radiohead fan apparently. So Radiohead did a song called Spectre with all the Bond keys and stuff. It's dead good. It's such a good Bond song. And he jibbed it off for a Sam Smith record, which I thought was
Shirley Bassey's done two.
What's that?
Shirley Bassey's done two, isn't she?
Goldfinger and what else?
Oh man,
I've got the list of films up, but it doesn't say what who did the songs. Tell you what,
Thunderbolt's Tom Jones, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah,
I'm sure she's done two. She did Diamonds Are Forever and
Goldfinger and Diamonds Are Forever. Yeah.
So you're gonna go and see it this weekend? Is that on your to-do list?
It's not. I might see if it's on the Fire Stick. Can't be asked going to pictures. Although that's not a bad idea actually. After the inevitable mauling at Old Trafford tomorrow. Yeah. Go to pictures.
Ronaldo's 97th minute winner.
Oh,
that's an inevitable thing.
I was thinking about because all week I've been thinking about this is going to be like a 90s performance at Old Trafford. I can just see it. And I thought back to the one time that we went there and we got B5. And I'd totally forgotten that Solskjaer scored 4 on that day. So we won 1-0 up through Franny Jeffers. Then I think him or Kevin Campbell hit the post.
Right.
And then the day just went tits up from then on. And I think we were back in the city centre for 4:30. So it's all right. Yeah, just another one of those cases where going the match spoils a really good drinking session.
It does. We should give it up soon.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm going to give shout outs to the Living Daylights, which is a good one, and A View to a Kill. I think Alan said A View to a Kill. That was Duran Duran, wasn't it?
Aha was Living Daylights, wasn't it?
Aha was the Living Daylights, yeah. Duran Duran was A View to a Kill. And what's her name? Carly Simon mum. That's the one.
Yeah. Live and Let Die is quite good. Wings. Bit of Paul McCartney.
It is. Yeah, I think that's
if you want to
Bond film as well.
If you want to go full Alan Partridge, because he says Wings are the band that the Beatles could have been.
I mean, he's got a point, you know. On the road is a tremendous album. You got to say that. Right, we'll move on to the next one. So Man United / Everton players at the ready. What's your favourite football upset?
Kanchelskis for this is my favourite Everton player, I think, anyway. It's a good mixture between the two. So my favourite football upset, and it's one that kind of strings me back to the 80s as well, was the 89 Cup final. So Liverpool versus Wimbledon, when everyone was behind Liverpool, Wimbledon had absolutely zero chance. I grew up in the West Country. Everyone's either a Wimbledon fan, a Liverpool fan or United fan or a Spurs fan or something back then. So who were Wimbledon coming up and playing in this cup final, non-league, whatever, 5-6 years before?
Yeah.
No chance. And they taught me, I was watching the game and I thought they had no chance of winning, but clearly I supported them, but had zero hope. And it just kind of gave me that belief. Actually, sometimes weird things happen. You should never totally give up on your team. And then Everton clearly killed that in the next 30 odd years. Just learned to give up on Everton. But yeah, that cup final was great. That was the Laurie Sanchez header. And it's probably one of my earliest football memories of watching a live game on TV as well. And you kind of watch that one. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that was probably the one I was going to go with. I remember my dad's brother and my uncle was a Red, and we watched it in my nan's house and both gave so much shit after the game. They were on for the double that year as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
So
was that the Arsenal year as well? Was that the year before with the Mickey?
No, it was 88, wasn't it, Wimbledon? So it was the year before, yeah.
Year before.
Yeah. Dan?
I was thinking, I quite liked it when Greece won the Euros.
That was a good one.
Because they were just so awful. And it was just, oh man. There was nothing apart from just unadulterated team spirit. It was just unbelievable. Little bits of luck here and there, little bits of sort of, good fortune and whatever. And, around the time some of those teams in that competition were absolutely sort of being lauded as these sort of legendary golden generation teams and all that sort of stuff. And, they just sort of stumbled and fell their way all the way to...
Yeah, they kicked away there, didn't they? Basically.
It was a bit like, I guess it was a bit like Martinez's Wigan, wasn't it, really?
Yeah. And Portugal team was very much like Man City, sort of, in terms of the difference. Just looking at the team here. Pauletta, Luis Figo, Deco, Cristiano Ronaldo, Maniche. Nuno Valente was playing left back. That's where they went.
That's why they lost.
Yeah, must be. I'm not even going to try and read the Greece team off. Not a chance. But yeah, that's a good one, actually, yeah. I think I was actually in Magaluf the weekend of that final. The whole thing kind of passed me by, but it was a good weekend. I've lost my thing. Where's it gone? It's gone. There we go. Back. That's all for Hot Topics. Guys, could have filled in better there, couldn't I?
You got that on script. Do you have to follow the script?
Yeah, got an auto cue. I'm like Ron Burgundy. If the auto cue goes... ask us anything now. So Foxy, we'll start with your question first. Have you ever been mistaken for someone else, or have you mistaken someone else? What happened?
No, it's never happened to me. I'm joking.
No. It's not your dad.
When I was at uni, I never met this person, but there used to be a ringer who looked exactly the same as me called Ben. And I first realised I had this ringer. I was out in town. So I was in Bristol, went to Bristol UE. I was out in town in Bristol. And a bunch of girls came towards me and said, "Oh, Ben, how are you doing?" Came over and gave me a hug. I was like, "That's nice. Don't have a clue who you are." And had a bit of a chat with them, and they kind of stumbled along their way, and I went off with my mates. And then a few weeks later, some of my mates were in uni, and this guy was in a different part of the campus. And I said, "I've just seen you on the other part. What are you doing? How do you..." A bit like a Harry Potter thing. How'd you get across the campus? How you come in two places at the same time? And then I noticed that there's occasionally people just stare at me, giving me evils, particularly some of the girls on the course, just like glaring at me. I'm like, "I've never met you before. Why are you giving me such a stern, strong look?" And I wonder if my doppelganger has done something that's upset you, and I'm now getting the shit that he should be getting from that. But then I like to think maybe he used to get some shit off other people for the same reason on the other side of the campus as well. So yeah, and I used to have someone, never met him, never saw him, but my mate said you got someone kind of going around campus looks exactly the same as you, and then getting grief and weirdness off people. I I like to think it wasn't me with a slightly twisted personality, because I did call my older son Ben as well. So I don't know if there's a kind of deep psychological route going on there. And actually, it was me and a split personality, and just didn't realise. And I've played it out later. But
well, some days he goes in a black t-shirt, some days in a white t-shirt. That depends what
Yeah,
Fox is going to turn up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's mad. Yeah, that must have been really crazy, like sort of getting into shift for stuff you've not done.
Yeah, particularly in town when people are a bit pissed. So like at uni, they'd have a few limitations and wouldn't kind of really confront you. But in town, they come and have a chat with me about stuff that had happened like a couple of weeks before. And I just generally no idea what you're talking about.
So
I'm pretty sure I have no idea what you're talking about.
So obviously you're denying everything. Did they believe?
Yeah.
Or
It got a bit awkward if I was out with a girl or something and they come across and talk to me. But in general, it's like, yeah, I think there's someone who just looks like me. It's not me. I'm not called Ben, honestly.
Wow. So there you go. If anyone does ever get into mischief and they get caught, just say, "Oh, it's
not me."
It wasn't me. Yeah, the old Shaggy get out. That's the one.
It wasn't me.
Dan?
This is a bit of a weird one, really, but considering how I look now, you know, North London's premier Uncle Albert impersonator. So many moons ago, when I had hair and cheekbones, and youth was firmly on my side, I was in a band, and we were signed to Polydor, and we kind of got about a bit and got invited to various things. And I don't know whether, I think you might have seen the picture, Les, but my look was very much the kind of quintessential Britpop dandy.
Yeah.
And so I had the Lego man haircut, eyeliner, black cords, that little leather jacket that we all had to have because it was compulsory, you know. And my band were invited to TFI Friday down in Hammersmith.
Yeah.
Because we'd done some stuff with Skunk Anansie. And if you watch the Skunk Anansie performance of the Brit Awards in 1996, I'm on stage with Skunk Anansie. They did Teenage Kicks, and me and my girlfriend are on stage with them. In a lot of pleather. It's not a good look for me, if I'm honest. But we got invited to TFI Friday, whatever it was, with them. They were playing. And I went down there in my little skinny trousers and my creepers. And I was wearing a lot of animal print blouses at the time, as you do. And eyeliner, the full works, jet black, feather cut and all that. And I was standing outside the Riverside Studios having a fag. And I could see this guy with a long lens kind of going, taking pictures and stuff down the little alleyway. There's like a little muse there. And I was having a fag and stuff. And we came back in and Richie Manick had gone missing about a week before. And this guy was taking pictures of me thinking that Richie Manick was just going to rock up at TFI Friday and go outside and have a fag. But yeah, so I was briefly mistaken for the absconded and missing Richie Manick for about an hour then all of a sudden everybody realised that, you know, he was, you know, why would he rock up, go down Hammersmith and hang around outside the back of a warehouse having a fag? But yeah, there was the briefest of flash of time when I was potentially in the same sort of, you know, ether as the great Richie Manick. But yeah, it was a very, very passing thing. The minute he saw me up close, he realised it wasn't, you know.
I was going to say, I would love to have known how far he went with this. So if he just picture and scarp it, I swear I've just seen Richie Manick down at TFI Friday. Look, this is him. And I had to get talked down from him.
Imagine you had Twitter back then. You're all over it.
It would have been straight on, wouldn't it?
Be like when Idrissa Gana Gay signed for us. But yeah, no, it was also around the time when I'd get I'd get an invitation from them nearly every month because they used to do a thing called Freak or Unique. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
I remember that, yeah.
And I've got this condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which means that I'm. They call it hypermobile now, but back in the day it was double jointed.
Right.
Okay.
And I can do like really berserk.
Whoa. So for anyone who's not watching this on YouTube, Dan done a claw with his fingers, but the other way round.
I can shake people's hands the wrong way around.
That's amazing.
But also it means that you're incredibly elastic. So
wow.
So you end up with this ridiculously elastic skin.
Oh wow.
Like a rubber suit.
Yeah.
And they used to ask me on there all the time to do that. And I was like, I was in a band at the time. I didn't want to be on television and be known for being the bloke with the weird face. But there was a guy, and because it's quite rare, and there was a guy who I'd known from when I lived in Wales as a kid, and he ended up going on there, getting paid quite handsomely. And he had the same as me. He wasn't as mobile in the joints as me, but his skin was insane. And it must be on YouTube somewhere, but he pulls his neck over his own face.
Jesus.
Right? And then he can pull his stomach out and put pint glasses on it.
Wow.
Mine isn't as bad as that. My it's pretty pretty flexible, but his skin is in like on another level.
Yeah.
And I think he's got some sort of world record now for kind of holding pots and pans on his stomach. I don't know, but yeah, I ended up like I saw him on the TV a few months later and thought they finally got one of us. Do you know what I mean? It's like they finally convinced one of us to expose himself on television and forever be known as the stretchy face guy.
So did you ever do it on TFI? Did you go on the Freak or Unique thing on TFI, or did you turn them down?
No, I turned them down every time because I was quite young and I'd managed to sort of get through playing football, being a normal kid, and not many people knew about it.
Yeah.
If I hurt myself, they'd know about it because the downside of the condition is you cut and you bruise and you dislocate and all that. So I'd get the odd problem where someone would, and also when you play snooker, people find out quite quickly because your hand goes like that. But I kept it quite quiet because I didn't really want. You know what kids are like? They're horrible. Kids are mean. And I moved to school quite a lot as a kid because my dad was an engineer and he moved all over the country. So you get into a new school and you just keep your head down and not tell anyone because the last thing you want is people to go, "You're the weird rubber kid," and all this sort of stuff. So when I got asked to go on there, I just turned it down every time because I just thought I'm in a band. I want to be kind of known for that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be known for being the guy who can shake someone's hand backwards.
Tell you what, there's some mileage in that backward handshake though. That's amazing. Just to freak people out. That's so good.
It'd be great for pickpocketing and stuff.
What was that?
Being a pickpocket with backward hand.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Yeah, all sorts of opportunities opened up to you there, mate. I've not actually been mistaken for anyone, but I have been told I look like the following people.
Okay.
Robbie Fowler, Phil Neville, and Hugh.
Fowler, no way, man.
I will take Hugh Grant all day.
Fowler's got a funny...
Even though I don't look anything like him.
You take Grant. Neville's not complimentary, is it?
Not at all, no.
Fowler's got a funny little nose and he's a bit greasy, isn't he?
He's got tiny ears as well.
Yeah.
The Robbie Fowler one, that was actually when we played Villa one time. I think when Walter Smith was managing, and I walked into the Blue House, which is where the Hot Walk is now.
Yeah.
It used to be a pub where the away fans would go before the game, but it was quite a good boozer, so we used to go in as well. But as soon as we walked in there, just in this dead thick Brummie accent, I just did, "Fucking hell, it's Robbie Fowler." I just did like the Abe Simpson thing and just walked straight back. No, I'm not into this.
Was your hair heavily gelled at this time?
I don't remember it being. I don't see how we saw that, to be honest.
Because whenever I think of Robbie Fowler, I immediately think wet look.
He's got that greasy head, hasn't he?
You know, that wet look gel thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I immediately see that sort of that shiny, curly, wet look thing.
I definitely didn't have that going on.
No, I can't imagine you'd ever have
Like this at the time. It's never been any different, apart from brief flirtation with a mullet in about 2004. Do you know when everyone had like about 6 haircuts?
Yeah.
Did you meet Mark Hughes then or not?
Oh, you wouldn't be complimenting about my left foot. No chance.
Yeah, the worst thing about my mullet was my cousin. We were both at Bobby Charlton's at the same time. He was a goalkeeper. And his hair was incredibly thick, like Steven Gerrard hairline. You know, you have to shave your forehead kind of thing. You know? And he had the proper, it was jet black, and he had the proper flat top shave, you know, almost like a crow's wing. You know, it was like that.
He must have looked like Billy the Fish.
It was incredible. And I wanted, because I've got what can only be described as mediocre mousy hair. You know, it's neither brown, it's neither blonde. It's the Hovis half and half of hair, right? And I wanted highlights really badly because Chris Waddle had highlights, Glenn Hoddle had highlights, Jason Donovan had highlights. The highlights were everywhere, weren't they?
All the heroes.
All your heroes. And I had an experience a bit like you many podcasts ago, Les, you were talking about the sunning.
Yes.
Yeah. So my mum said I could put some sun in my hair when we were on holiday in Tunisia, and that would give me highlights. But yeah, it just gave me a sort of weird brassy,
turns mousy hair ginger, basically.
Yeah.
But not even a good shade of ginger, just a really weird off shade ginger.
No, it's not like David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust orange, is it? It's sort of like, you know, EastEnders barmaid orange.
Yeah.
Bad times.
Terrible. Bloody mothers got a lot to answer for, haven't they? Speaking of sort of fashion faux pas, maybe something like that. John's asked, do you think you could get away with cowboy boots for a night in Rigbys? For anyone who doesn't know Rigbys, it is a pub in Liverpool city centre. It's a really old pub, and it's the favourite haunt of the Blue Room pre and post match. It's a very good boozer. It's one of those where you go in and it's still got a sort of a snug and a big bar area, and then there's a courtyard out the back. So it's a very traditional pub. Dan, I reckon you definitely could get away with a pair of cowboy boots in Rigbys. What do you think?
I've got a pair. I don't wear them. I bought them in a moment of madness when I thought that was the way I was going, look-wise. I've done a swift UE since then, but it's a very difficult shoe to team up with a trouser, isn't it? Mm. Because the problem with a cowboy boot is, because of the way, if you go for a decent cowboy boot, it's going to come half shin, right? Your jean is going to do that rucky up on the shin thing, right? If you wear a straight jean, right? Yeah. Which is why you get the boot cut, right? But no one wants to wear a boot cut jean in the modern era. You know, there's no need for it. So unless you're going to go for a sort of full-on rockabilly, vintage, baggy jean, big turn-up, selvage, very, very expensive cowboy boot, I think it's a very difficult look to pull off.
Could you wear the boot on the outside of the jean?
Well, you're a traditional cowboy. That's exactly what they do, isn't it?
Yeah. You wouldn't go down that route, then?
I mean, I've done some brave sartorial things in my life. Some would say I'm doing it right now. But,
mate,
you know, I've worn the
Crocs with the added backpack is their next level, mate.
Yeah. My off-grid tactical Crocs are something to behold. But, you know, and I've even worn a muumuu. But the idea of tucking anything into a cowboy boot fills me with an existential dread. For a job, I used to make beer for a living, and I was used to tucking my jeans in my wellies, which is currently it's a health and safety faux pas doing that, by the way.
Okay.
Tucking your overalls in your wellies when you work with when you work with hot liquids.
Yeah, of course.
They go down into the welly rather than splash off the trousers and whatever. Yeah. But I'd say the cowboy boot, it's you got to leave it to the likes of Lee Van Cleef and Hasselhoff, haven't you? Really?
Yeah. I mean, he'd wear a cowboy boot just with a pair of Speedos. Problem solved there, isn't it? Then really,
that's the only way to really throw everything at it, isn't it? Is to say, I'm going to wear the cowboy boots. I'm going to negate the tucking in, going over, turn up, not turn up, all that. I'm going to negate it by going straight into pants.
Yeah. Isn't the cowboy in Inner Space? He does that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Film Inner Space. Yeah.
I guess you're not looking at the cowboy boots so much, are you? You're just wearing pants with them. You've got something else to distract the cowboy.
No. You can probably have anything on your feet, couldn't you?
And then there's that brilliant picture of Sean Connery, isn't there, in that film that he did, where he's got like he's got the shin high pattern leather Cuban heel boots. He's wearing a pair of like hot pants, and he's got like a bandolero thing across his chest.
Yeah.
So I think if you're going to go for it, you might as well just throw caution to the wind and go cowboy boots, hot pants, maybe some sort of holster.
Yeah. We're getting a daddy leather in there too. We're holding that. Leather daddy.
One glove, and then some sort of, some sort of leatherette riding hat.
I think you could do that.
So, Foxy, are you going to Rigbys then in a leather daddy with some cowboy boots? Is that where we're going next?
Who says I haven't already? I've only been to Rigbys once, and I think I was wearing an Everton shirt as like a pre-game thing. So I'm still of an age because I'm 41. I can still wear a shirt to the match, and that's fine.
Any names on the back?
No. When I was a kid, I think it was about 96. I bought an Everton shirt from the shop and put Fox on the back of it. I remember walking into Goodison and someone going, "Oh, has Real Fox joined Everton?" And since then, I've never put my name on the back of it or anyone else's name on the back of it. So even going to Rigbys wearing an Everton shirt, I felt quite out of place wearing an Everton shirt in Rigbys on match day because it's not kind of the cool thing to do with like the non-Wolves coming to watch the game. I find actually just going to Goodison and wearing the right thing quite a challenge. I probably spend more time thinking about what I'm going to wear to the match than I do like going out with my mates or going out for the wife for dinner. So who do you reckon from the Blue Room could get away with that then, Les? The whole
that's a good question.
Leather daddy.
Oh, leather daddy. I thought you meant cowboy boots.
And cowboy boots. I was going for the whole outfit.
Leather daddy, definitely Paddy Boylan. Speaking of which, have you seen his new profile pic?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's nothing like Gordon, does it?
It's not Anthony Gordon. They have definitely seen Paddy Boylan at an
press box.
Yeah, that's Anthony Gordon. Absolute ringer. Cowboy boots, Mike the Asher, all day.
Okay. With socks or not?
No, definitely not.
No
and
socks.
These as well, I reckon. 100%. I think the only reason I could go for a pair of cowboy boots is that little heel. And just lift to make me like a reasonable size.
It's a stealth heel, isn't it? It's a stealth heel because it's, most people are so repulsed by the shoe.
There you go.
That they're not looking at the fact you've raised your height by 1.5 inches because they're just like, I'm not looking at them. I don't want to look at them. They make me feel physically ill. So it's a stealth, especially if you've got a long boot cut draping over the back of them.
Exactly. I saw a lad in a pair of boot cuts the other day. Well, not boot cuts. Remember the way your jeans used to go in the early 2000s where the pavement's scuffing and they would just straight to the back. He had a pair of jeans on like that. And I was thinking, has he been wearing them for about 15 years?
Are they not coming back in now?
Yeah, the road sweeper flare is definitely coming back. My son's got a pair of road sweepers. He comes home, he walks through the door, and about 84 fag butts fall out of his trousers.
He's only 9.
Right, we're on the last question, and it's an important one. It is a really important one. So Laura's asked, what is your favourite topping for crumpets? And she will be judging everyone on the answer that you give to this. So Foxy,
I'm not sure what the right answer is for this.
just be honest.
All right, if I'm honest, it's really
from Laura,
dull.
but not from us. It's a safe space.
It's a safe space. So if I'm honest, it's probably something like butter and marmalade. That's a very honest answer. But I quite enjoy. I was kind of thinking about other kind of mixtures of toppings. So like slightly weird things like cheese and cucumber go together quite well.
Okay.
Quite like crackers and marmalade as well. That's a current favourite. So I'm up for a bit of mix and match. Some things that aren't traditional and chucking together. So yeah, I reckon maybe. Could you get away with cheese on a crumpet? Is that asking too much?
You definitely can.
Can you get blue cheese, or what would you go for?
Ooh, blue cheese.
That's too strong.
Like sort of your standard cheddar. Blue cheese could be a shout though.
Yeah. Well, cheese goes with everything, doesn't it? There's very few things you can't add cheese and it improves it. So
yeah,
I'll try a bit of Dutch Salata on a crumpet. It's nice soft blue cheese.
There you go.
I think that'd be good.
And definitely.
And pineapple.
And pineapple, always with the pineapple, yeah, definitely. Well, to be fair, the pineapple probably would go quite well with the blue cheese.
It would. Be a nice balance.
Yeah,
Sweet and...
I reckon. We know our stuff. Dan?
We're not wanting to let the side down for the full North London pretentious mafia that I am. My current crumpet de jour for toppings wise. So part toast, right? Just part toast. Bring it out so it's warm enough but not toast enough, and then slather it with butter, right? Then just a spreading of andouille.
Okay.
Yeah. Then a little grate of cheese, whatever you like, a bit of Parmesan, bit of Manchego, bit of cheddar, doesn't matter.
Yep.
Then under the grill.
Okay.
See? Like that. And then you get that lovely caramelized, cheesy, crispy thing. The andouille and the butter kind of soak into the sponge-like interior and kind of, come out the bottom. But yeah, it's that hot, spicy sausage thing, softness of the butter, a bit of tang of the cheese. Yeah, it's banging.
I'm from the West Country. I don't even know what andouille is. What's this?
It's a southern
sausage. It's a sausage.
It's like a southern Italian. So if you imagine getting a chorizo, and kind of blitzing it into what could only be described as a pate consistency.
Okay.
And it comes from southern Italy.
Nice.
And you can buy it in little like pots. And yes, really, it's almost like
it's odd the way you can spread it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hot. It's kind of hot and smoky and tangy and spicy, a bit like blended chorizo. And then it's just back. And the classic of the Marmite is always the way to go. You can't beat a bit of Marmite, but the crumpet is a difficult judge on the toaster, isn't it?
Do you toast it or do you grill it?
If I'm just doing the Marmite, then I'll toast it. But it's one of them. Yeah. You set it to your normal toaster settings, and it always needs an extra one, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's thick.
They're a resilient, doughy beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to bring and just say put Nutella on it. That works.
Yeah. And then a little tiny, if you're going for the Nutella one, you might as well give it a tiny little sprinkling of weed. Just for that, 1 o'clock in the morning, little Nutella crumpet, put a tiny sprinkling of weed on, just to have that little sweetie chocolate moustache, sleepy nap time.
Nice.
That's a
they do that on Night Garden, I think.
Definitely. It'll be all over that, haven't you? You can just tell. Right, well, we got, on that, we'll end on that crumpet chat. In fact, no, we will end on score predictions. We might as well. I think I've been on every single podcast this week, unfortunately, for anyone who listens. So,
you've been putting in the hours, mate.
Yeah,
I have put it in, but I am of the opinion that we're going to get leaded. Foxy, what about you?
I reckon 2-1 to United.
2-1.
I'll take it for the not impacting our goal difference too badly. That's how optimistic I am.
Yeah, if we're going to get beat, keep the score.
Make it single, yeah.
Yeah. Dan?
I think we're going to go 1-0 up. A bit like Louis Saha. A bit like Louis Saha in the FA Cup final. We'll go 1-0 up and we'll all absolutely lose our shit. Then we're going to hang on for dear life. And then I reckon we'll probably lose 2-1 to a Ronaldo double.
Yeah.
And then all the fans outside will do that weird gathering around in a circle, choreographed Ronaldo nonsense that they're all doing.
Villa won't relegate him for that, don't they?
Yes, absolutely.
100%. Have you noticed the your shit art is catching on?
Yeah.
More grounds.
Mate,
Yeah.
we said it, didn't we, when we were at QPR a couple of weeks ago? We were like, what's the bet they do it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, and I mean, the last time I heard it before, I don't know, it's probably had a bit of a resurgence in the last sort of 6 months, but the last time I heard it was at Southend United in about 1994.
Exactly. That's where it should have stayed.
And they're the goalkeeper at the time. I can't remember his name. It must have been Sam something. And they used to go, "Oh, it's Sammy," like that.
Oh my God, that's even worse.
And but yeah, the your shit R thing is just, yeah.
I think
It's
you
as
should get it
bad.
going.
It's as bad as the music when they score a goal in it. It's as bad as that.
Sorry, what did you say?
I think you should get it going in the park, Liz. I think by yourself, stand up, pick for taking a goal kick, just so you can get to join in. See when you get flattered, it'll be fine.
Guarantee someone will punch me and it will probably be Dad, if no one else.
So funny, though.
Right, well, hopefully we'll get something at Old Trafford tomorrow. You never know. Or today, if you're listening on Saturday, or even if you're listening on Sunday. Hopefully we got something at Old Trafford yesterday. Who knows? Thanks to Foxy, thanks to Dan, thanks to everyone who sent questions in. We will see you next time on Mailbag.